Well, with a deficit of about $1.7 billion, the province of British Columbia is in tough economic straits. Certainly you could see that in the budget as it came down from Finance Minister Colin Hanson. There's nowhere that was immune, if you will, to budget cuts. And gaming grants to arts, cultural, and sports groups were not immune, and were not left off the table. About $156 million was handed out in grants with money that came from gambling. That was in 2008 and 2009. This year, $120 million in gaming grants is being distributed. That's a drop of $36 million. It's worth noting that this is the lowest level of cash distribution in 10 years since the government started keeping records about the distribution of gaming revenue. Sports teams took it on the nose. Whether it's hockey leagues or recreational rugby leagues, they got slammed. And the Okanagan Sun were not immune. With me on the line now at this moment in time is the president of the Okanagan Sun football organization, Bill Long. Bill, good morning to you.
Good morning, Phil.
Did you know this was coming?
Well, our lottery grant license was up for renewal this year, and so we had to resubmit all the paperwork and reapply, and we knew that an announcement would be pending sometime in March. Now, we went through all sorts of different scenarios as to, how much are we going to get? Are we going to get the same? Is it going to be maybe $20,000 or $10,000? Because, at one point we were getting over $40,000, $45,000 a year, which was at the time a big portion of our budget. So our board had made steps over the past number of years to have the gaming be less of an impact on our budget, but it's still a crucial part of what we do. So we plan for all sorts of scenarios. The disadvantage we have as an adult sports team is that if you already had a contract and you weren't up for renewal for 2 or 3 years, then the government is honoring that, and then you'd have a year or two to make adjustments. But we don't have that. We had an hour. So
you're on the back end of the cycle, if you will.
Yes.
Normally, when you apply for gaming grants, how long is that application in place for? Is it 2 years, 3 years, 5 years?
It's a 3-year term.
Right.
We just happened to our number came up this year, and we have our budget meeting actually tomorrow, and so we've had to make a few adjustments and shuffle some things around, but. It's that $30,000 that we received last year is crucial to what we do, because it pretty much has to go to equipment. So now we have to take money from other parts of our operation and put it to the equipment, et cetera, that we need to purchase every year.
So let's just go to that for a minute. The number then is $30,000. That's what you got every year for 3 years.
Well, it adjusts slightly. It's kind of a percentage thing, but that's what we received last year.
All right, and so in the blink of an eye, that money is removed from your cash flow, your operational budget.
Mm-hmm.
You say you have a budget meeting tomorrow night, but I'm sure there's been a few phone calls back and forth between you and your treasurer and a few other folks. Is there any way out of this?
Oh, absolutely. We've always been of the mind that we need to have the support of the community as individuals or as businesses corporately, and have seriously made a push for that over the past few years. And this is accelerating what we want to do. We are aggressively going out now and appealing to not only the individuals and the alumni and people who operate the small businesses and larger businesses to come and help us, because we have a great product, and we put on a good show, and we have great football, and it's a great football league now. I don't know if people remember, but we did finish 4th last year. We don't walk over everybody, so it's great entertainment. It's very competitive, and I think we have to play to our strengths rather than whine and cry and that the sky is falling. Because I'm a glasses 25% full kind of guy, and that's is what I see this as, and our board is going to see this as an opportunity to bring more people and more corporations into our fold.
It's 9:40 in the morning, 9:41 at AM 1150 on this sun-drenched spring morning, a couple of weeks early. The sun rose this morning. It'll rise again tomorrow, and I'm talking about the Okanagan Sun football team. A couple of moments with the president of the organization, Bill Long, where they found out that they've lost $30,000 in lottery gaming grants. We'll take your calls as well at 250-862-2525, 250-862-2525. Bill Long, it is $30,000. You've already indicated it doesn't put the operation at risk. It just means you have to bear down, work a little harder. But when you go looking for players, I mean, you offer scholarships to players. You woo them because of the reputation of the organization. You don't have a private jet, you don't have a team bus, but my understanding is that this team is very well managed and offers a significant level of trappings, I guess. I'm searching for the word, but you're not a rich team, but you're managed well and you feel good, you look the part, you play a great game, you've been provincial Western champions, national champions, so you have a storied history here. Does any of this impact on that?
It does impact our ability as far as recruiting. I mean, it's a much different game out there in recruiting. Like the Vancouver Island Raiders have raised the bar. For years we said to other teams, we're not going backwards, so you guys are going to have to step up, and they did. And the Raiders have won 3 of the last 4 national championships, and we've been really the only team over that time to give them a game. We've been the only team that's been competitive with them and have come very, very close to knocking them off a few times. And so we're tooth and nail in recruiting, and the recruiting that we have to do and going to these places, going to Calgary, going to Edmonton, going up and down the valley, talking to everybody that we possibly can. It costs money to do that. And if when we have $30,000 come out of our budget, that means that we have to take money from everywhere. So it affects our ability to do anything really, as far as what we can recruit, what we can do when we travel. I mean, I don't want to be all gloom and doom, but I just want people to understand that every year is a challenge for this team to get in the black. And for many, many, many years, we didn't. We would lose money, we would make a little money, we would lose some money then, so we make some more money, and it was a real struggle. And
you lost money last year, didn't you?
We did. We had a small operating loss, and a lot of that goes down to the fact that we weren't able to host a playoff game, and that extra gate revenue at the end of the year. While we don't budget for playoff games as part of our budget, that's often is what puts us over the top. So, having a competitive team and being able to get those good players, and then, our coaching staff is so good, they'll make it work, and they'll get these guys together, and we'll host those playoff games, and then that revenue we get there is very, very important to us.
Bill Long, president of the Okanagan Sun Football Club. We're going to continue a conversation with him in a moment. We're at AM 1150 on this Tuesday morning in the sunshine. It is 9:44. Need to take a quick break. We're going to be back with Bill Long, Okanagan Sun Football. Where to from here at AM 1150?